What's going on, everybody? I hope you've had a fantastic Friday and you're enjoying your Friday evening/night. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm bringing you the BKN Game Recap for the Brooklyn Nets as they took on the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as the Nets look like they're going to try to get back on the winning ways after suffering a brutal loss last night to the Milwaukee Bucks. When they were down by as much as 21 points, they came all the way back to be down by at least 2 points, but in the end, they just fell by 5 points against the Bucks, 118 to 113. And then they played this game against the Timberwolves tonight, and the Nets were pretty much trailing in this game throughout, all the way from the beginning till at least about towards the middle of the third quarter. The Nets were trailing throughout this entire basketball game. They were down by as many as 13 points in this game too. Nicholas Claxton had a really rough day at the office as well. Stats-wise, it wasn't terrible, but he didn't last it through the second half of the latter part of the fourth quarter, as he eventually fouled out in the game. But the Nets were able to get the lead back, and in fact, the Nets at one point were leading this game by 3 points after Spencer Dinwiddie had a couple of dribble drives, kickouts to the outside, including one to Dorian Finney-Smith to put the Nets up by 1. And then the Timberwolves missed the 3-point shot, and they got the ball. And Bridges was able to knock down 2 clutch free throws with about 1.3 seconds to go in the game. And then Naz Reid. Naz Reid was able to hit a clutch 3-point shot at the buzzer to send this basketball game into overtime. And I will be admitting it. I thought after the T-Wolves were able to sink that big 3 shot at the end of regulation, I thought the Nets were in major trouble, especially without Claxton. And the Timberwolves were off to a really good start at the beginning. But clutch plays in overtime by Mikal Bridges, by Spencer Dinwiddie, and by Dorian Finney-Smith were able to push this team over the top, including Bridges hitting a clutch 3, Dinwiddie getting a couple of big baskets, and then Dinwiddie driving to the basket, dishing it out to the outside, hitting a wide open Dorian Finney-Smith for a big 3-point shot to put the Nets up by 3 points. Timberwolves were able to drive back down, hit a big shot to put them down by 124 to 123. And then the Nets weren't able to convert on a Cam Johnson 3-point shot, and the Timberwolves got the ball back with about 5.8 seconds to go. And it was a 3-point shot at the buzzer by Anthony Edwards in the corner. That was an air ball, and the Nets win an absolutely thrilling basketball game by the final score of 124 to 123 in a game the Nets badly needed to win tonight. Badly needed to win tonight. And they managed in overtime to get the job done. And courtesy of their key players. Courtesy of the Nets' big acquisitions. Mikal Bridges, once again, he turned the ball over 4 times. I don't love that. But either way, Bridges had another outstanding game offensively. 13 for 24, 34 points in 47 minutes for Mikal Bridges. 4 for 8 from the 3-point line, adding 6 rebounds to there. And Spencer Dinwiddie also had a very good game. 29 points and 11 assists. Only 1 turnover. He was 11 of 24 from the field in 45 minutes. 3 for 7 from the 3-point line. And he had a double-double in the game. Dorian Finney-Smith was very slow at the beginning of the game. Didn't really start getting going offensively, but in the end of the fourth quarter and in overtime, he made some monster 3-point shots, including the biggest shot of the game for the Brooklyn Nets, where he was able to nail that 3-point shot in the corner after the dish out by Spencer Dinwiddie to put the Nets up by 3 at that time. And Finney-Smith came out clutch in the end. He had 11 points, 3 steals, 1 block shot, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. In 37 minutes, he was 3 for 9 from the field and 2 for 5 from the 3-point line. Cam Johnson, who actually got injured during the middle of the third quarter when he got elbowed in the face. And he ended up missing a little bit of time during the third quarter and the fourth quarter. But he was able to come back out there and he scored 15 points with 8 rebounds, turned it over 3 times. In 34 minutes, he was 3 for 8 from the court, 2 for 4 from the three-point line, and he had 8 rebounds. Claxton, like I mentioned, he fouled out in the middle of the fourth quarter. He had 11 points, 9 rebounds with 3 assists. He did have 4 block shots, 5 for 6 from the field in 35 minutes. He had a pretty good game tonight until he got into foul trouble. Claxton's biggest issue is he got into major foul trouble tonight, and that's what did him in. And then Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal did an excellent job for the Nets off the bench. Some clutch shots he hit from the three-point line. When you look at his field goal percentage, you look at it, 3 of 11. That doesn't look that good, but he had 12 points and 15 rebounds, which is a career high for Royce O'Neal. In 36 minutes, he made 3 of 5 three-point shots. And he also had 3 steals and 2 assists. He did have 5 personal fouls. And then as well, Seth Curry in the first half. He only scored 10 points in the first half. He only scored 1 more point in the second half, but he made some big shots for the Brooklyn Nets when they needed him to in the first half. And the Nets were able to get a monster win tonight. They were actually out-rebounded the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight by 48-47. The Nets had 9 less assists, though. That's one of the problems. The Nets didn't assist the ball as much as they did before. Each team had 14 turnovers. Timberwolves were 49% from the field, 30% from the three-point line. Nets were 47% from the three-point line, 46% from the court. So the Timberwolves shot better overall from the court, but the Nets had a better three-point percentage, which is the one thing that matters the most. This was such a big win tonight for the Nets. They needed this win when you got a matchup on Sunday against the Denver Nuggets at home, the best team in the Western Conference or in the NBA. The Nets needed to get this win tonight, and that's what they did. They handled their business. Atlanta got a win tonight. They beat Washington. Miami got a win tonight. They beat Cleveland, and the Nets needed to keep pace in that 6th spot, and that's exactly what they did. Exactly what they did. Because they're trying to stay in that 6th seed right now and avoid both Miami and Atlanta in terms of getting into that play-in game. This was a monster win tonight for the Brooklyn Nets in many assets. And you got to give credit to the 4 players that they acquired at the trade deadline. All 4 of them, once again, made big contributions. Spencer Dinwiddie. You can hate the guy all you want if you don't think he's that great of a player. All Dinwiddie did is he came in and he made big shots for the Nets. Big assists, big plays. Dinwiddie's a good player. Cam Johnson. He got injured a little bit in the middle of the game, but he's a clutch three-point shooter when you got him out there. And a good defensive player. Dorian Finney-Smith. Some people are down on him because his offensive game isn't as strong. I like Dorian Finney-Smith. I think he's a very underrated three-point shooter. And he made some big three-point shots tonight, including, like I mentioned, that big three-point shot that put the Nets up by 3 with just about 17 seconds to go. And then what else can I say about Mikal Bridges? Another 30-plus point game. The guy is turning into a legit, like a breakout star in the NBA. He's already phenomenal defensively. And now his offensive game is slowly coming into place. I'm so happy the Nets got this win tonight. I really was thinking the worst after the Timberwolves sent this game into overtime. I honestly was thinking the worst, that this team was not going to be able to, recover. But the Nets, to credit to them, the Nets got a big, big win tonight. And like I mentioned, if the Nets lost this game, and with the Heat winning and the Hawks winning, the Nets would have only been a game above the Heat. But because they won this game tonight, there's still 2 games above the Heat. And obviously the Nets beat the Heat twice already this season. I'm so happy they got this win. This is a game on their schedule in this 9-game stretch they needed to win. And while it was excruciating, while it was painful, and while this one really tested your patience if you're a Nets fan, in the end, the Nets were able to get it done in overtime. And also the fact that the Nets at the end of the fourth quarter could not buy a shot. They went 4+ minutes without making a single shot. And you could just think the worst at that point, that this Nets team was going to go out quietly at the end of the game. But Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, and Cam Johnson all came to play and helped this Nets team get a big win tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves are a pretty decent team. And remember, the Timberwolves are playing tonight's game without Karl-Anthony Towns, possibly their best player on the team. But now the Nets are 38-29 on the season. And they have a big game on Sunday against the Denver Nuggets at home. Can they win that game? Yeah, they could. It's not going to be easy. But you got to beat the teams on your schedule that you know you could beat. This being one of them. And the Nets got it done. Now we'll wait and see what the Nets are going to do going into their Sunday game in Denver. But this one was very close in the end. I really didn't know if the Nets were going to pull this one out. And they did. Like I mentioned, now you're 2 games up on Miami. You're 3.5 up on Atlanta. So, big win tonight by the Nets. 38-29. You got a day off on Saturday before you get ready for the Nuggets on Sunday. But that is your BKN game recap for the Brooklyn Nets tonight. Nets win by the final score of 124-123. Big game by Mikal Bridges. Big game by Spencer Dinwiddie. Clutch shooting by Dorian Finney-Smith. Good play by Cam Johnson. And great job by Royce O'Neal off the bench. If you like this video, hit the like button below. Give a sub to NYGJeffyT85 for more news updates, chatter, and game recaps surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. And you guys let me know in the comment section what you thought about the Nets' overtime thrilling victory tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And what is your state of the Nets as the Nets now go into their day off tomorrow before they get ready for their game on Sunday against the Denver Nuggets at home at Barclays Center, looking to see if they can put together another winning streak. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday night / early Saturday morning. Take it easy, and as always, let's go Brooklyn Nets. It's a Nets world, and we are all just living in it.